But later on, during the cutbacks, the numbers reduced?
Yes. Like it became like a multi-skill set rather than just RN and RPN. Yeah.
What about the safety issues you're describing?
Well, obviously, if you have, people who are not trained, like especially for restraining,
You also need to restrain.
yeah, sometimes we have to restrain people with mental health issues when they are not safe. So there's certain training, right, for certain jobs and career and professionals that is fitting for an area, but that wasn't the case all the time. So
did you feel unsafe?
At times, yeah, at times, for sure.
What made you feel unsafe? Oh, what happened to make you feel unsafe?
Because I didn't feel that I have the backup that I need.
And because of the cutbacks?
Yes. Yeah, because there's not enough of us to observe individuals, like observe patients who are not safe. You need manpower or women power. So,
did you have any direct experience? Did any incident happen during your career that you remember?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The caucus of color. I just want to know how it came about or what inspired it. Or
I think it gives it a venue for people to vent and a resource where one can go to get some action, put some action into place, not just all talk and lip service and pacification, dismissal even of blatantly obvious discrimination. And also it was a good caucus because we support each other with the other equity groups like the LBGT, Q and Two Spirit, and also the youth and women's group and the indigenous group. So there were similar themes. So when we had gone to, say, an Alberta Federation of Labor Executive Council meeting, there were opportunities for networking. And so it was good to be able to support each other.
Were you getting complaints from other nurses of color?
Yes, for sure. Yes. Yeah.
Were there a lot of nurses complaining?
I would say a lot. Like, I would welcome more nurses to join. I have a feeling that some are not even aware that they're there, despite reaching out.
How do you reach out?
And the thing is, it's only once a year caucus. I'm trying to make it happen more regularly. Now we have Zoom. Because there's so many bills that have been pushed forward that without consultation with us, to do with, be it pension, be it the right to strike, the all sorts of bills that have been pushed through lately, right? During Jason Kenney's era, or premiership, I should say. Yeah, sometimes it's hard, I think, because it's a different, decade, right? Like it's a different era. But as far as how I'm impacted and how my coworkers been impacted, I think it's been greater because our economy is not great. So they say, but I think it's not too bad because they still have billions from the oil and gas. Are there
more threats with staff shortages?
Yeah, like
you mentioned your pension.
We have to make do all the time, it seems like, and this mandatory overtime when we worn out, and not in my area, but in some other areas I've heard of. I've got friends who are working like hours on end. They don't see their families. They don't even get enough sleep. I mean, how safe is that? You know, stretches of days on end of 16-hour shifts, like, that's a lot. Just the masking alone, right? You know, PPEs, like, you know, all that additional stresses, additional obstacles and things that you have to do. You have to think so hard before you do anything. Even in our area, like, oh, so we pre-screen somebody at the door, we only see the top half, like what else is there, right? A small screen. And yes, they say no when they're pre-screened. They come in, then they have symptoms. So the exposure, right? The anxiety of bringing that home to your family, you know, it's huge. It's stressful. Yeah, it's and then you have the government saying, you know, we're going to roll back your pay. We're going to do lots of rollbacks, mandatory overtime in some areas. Seems to be a lot of changes all at once. It's like very tumultuous, chaotic.
Are positive changes, you're saying?
Negative. The negative changes. I don't think, you know, I've thought of any positive ones of late.
So you're feeling burnout?
At times, yeah.
What about your co-workers?
Same, yeah. And the sick calls are a lot more that I've noticed.